Imagine you've lived thousands of lives across millions of years. Now imagine the Earth is carefully designed to make you forget every single one. In 2007, an author named Lawrence Spencer opened his mailbox to find a thick envelope. Inside were top-secret military documents dating back to 1947. These documents came from Matilda MacElroy, a Roswell nurse who claimed to be the primary caretaker for an alien crash survivor. She reported that her interaction with the being bypassed physical speech, taking the form of a prolonged telepathic exchange. When Matilda arrived at the 509th Bomb Group that morning, the atmosphere was tense. Armed guards stood at posts that were empty yesterday, and the base was swarming with unfamiliar faces and nervous officers in suits. Over the next 6 weeks, Matilda transcribed hundreds of pages of telepathic dialogue. The interview detailed advanced technology and outlined an invisible war raging across thousands of galaxies, a conflict that places humanity entirely in the crosshairs. The alien, calling herself Airl, explained that humanity's biological form is an illusion. Every conscious entity in the universe is an ISB, an immortal spiritual being. Right now, your infinite consciousness is squeezed down into a fragile, temporary biological vehicle. Airl claimed Earth is actually a cosmic dumping ground. Around 8000 BC, a massive regime known as the Old Empire built a specialized facility on this planet. They used it to exile anyone they deemed a threat, filling the surface with political dissidents, artists, and free thinkers. To keep the inmates compliant, the Old Empire engineered a planetary fence. When a human body dies, the escaping spirit is drawn toward a massive scanning station. That familiar tunnel of light reported in near-death experiences? It's a trap. The system wipes all past life memories, implants false narratives, and pushes a spirit into a new infant body to be recycled. An opposing force called the Domain eventually defeated the Old Empire and sent a rescue unit to dismantle the trap. 3,000 officers built a secret base high in the Himalayas to map the planetary grid. But the automated prison defenses detected them, captured every officer, wiped their memories, and assimilated them into the human population. They became the Lost Battalion. Matilda's contact with Airl ended violently. When the alien refused to cooperate with military brass, they resorted to force, attaching electroshock probes to her head. The extreme voltage killed the alien's biological vehicle instantly. Matilda was then forced to sign a lethal non-disclosure agreement, silencing her for 60 years. If Matilda's transcripts are accurate, our physical deaths offer no release. The entire biological life cycle is a meticulously engineered cage designed to keep immortal souls docile and enslaved indefinitely. Spencer published Matilda's transcripts in 2008 under the title Alien Interview. The book exploded in popularity. Readers claim the text felt less like reading and more like remembering a suppressed truth. But researchers looking at the actual text immediately had a wall. Look closely at this photo of a massive IBM mainframe. In 1947, computing technology looked like this. Yet the transcript, supposedly dictated that exact year, relies heavily on words like database and computer, terms that were highly specialized and virtually non-existent in standard military reporting at the time. Another glaring anachronism appears in Chapter 11. The alien cites Jonas Salk as a prime example of human genius. In 1947, Salk was a relatively unknown medical researcher. He wouldn't become globally famous for his polio vaccine until 1955. When investigators pushed Spencer to produce the physical evidence to clear up these timeline errors, his response raised even more alarms. He claimed he had burned the original transcripts, the envelopes, and all of Matilda's letters to avoid harassment from government agents. Despite its cosmic scope, the account fails the basic test of physical evidence, collapsing under the weight of its own internal anachronisms. A UFO researcher named Bill Ryan took the investigation further, doing a forensic breakdown of the book's specific lore. Concepts like doll bodies, implant stations, and galactic space operas are highly distinct, and Ryan knew exactly where he had seen them before. These supposedly extraterrestrial revelations were lifted almost word for word from the core theological doctrines developed by the Church of Scientology. The inconsistencies align with Lawrence Spencer's personal history. He had been an active member of the Church of Scientology for 31 years before he ever published the alien transcripts. Spencer applied a clear formula. He took existing religious doctrines that already had a dedicated following and wrapped them securely inside the most famous American UFO mystery to give the narrative instant credibility. There was no secret mountain base, and there was no telepathic nurse. The entire narrative was a science fiction author's unauthorized religious marketing scheme disguised as a classified military leak. This leaves us with an important question. If the book is a proven hoax, why did it resonate so deeply? Why did it bring millions of people to tears, leaving them convinced they were remembering their own suppressed past? The prison planet concept provides incredible psychological utility. It takes the confusing, random pain of everyday life and assigns it a clear cosmic cause. Your suffering isn't your fault. It's the result of an ancient alien trap. It tells a grieving partner or an isolated teenager that they aren't an accident on an unremarkable rock. It tells them they are immortal beings of immense power, only temporarily suppressed by forces beyond their control. People didn't fall for this book because they were gullible. They connected with it because it offered deep, resounding hope. It answered a universal desire for our struggles to mean something greater. Ultimately, our lives don't require an intergalactic conspiracy to hold meaning. The simple fact of our biological mortality makes every hour valuable. Knowing the clock is running makes today a gift.
Paradoxes are only mysteries we haven't solved yet. Support the channel by liking and subscribing to stay updated on our latest findings. Share your theories in the comments below. Share this video with someone who questions everything. This is the Synthetic Paradox, signing off.